Every culture has monsters. But Latino legends? They hit different. Your abuela told you these stories to keep you inside at night. Your tío swore they were real. And honestly, after researching these, I'm not sleeping tonight either. These aren't fairy tales. These are warnings, passed down for centuries, and every Latin country has their own. Let's go country by country. And yeah, you might want to keep the lights on for this one. We're starting with the one you've probably heard of. La Llorona, the weeping woman. But I promise you don't know the full story. The legend goes like this. A beautiful woman, some say her name was Maria, fell in love with a wealthy man. They had children together. Everything was perfect, until he left her for someone else. And Maria? She snapped. In her rage and grief, she drowned her own children in the river. The moment she realized what she'd done, she threw herself in after them. But the afterlife rejected her. God told her she couldn't enter heaven until she found her children. So now, she wanders. Every night. For centuries. Walking along rivers and canals, crying, "I, Mis Hios. Mis Hios. Oh, my children." And here's what makes this one real scary. People across Mexico, the American Southwest, and Central America have reported hearing her. Not just stories. Police reports. News coverage. Families who live near rivers in rural Mexico will tell you, when you hear a woman crying at night, you do not go outside. Because La Llorona doesn't just cry. She takes children who wander too close to the water. She thinks they're hers. Now this one is psychological warfare. El Silbón, the Whistler. And the reason this legend is so terrifying is because of one rule. In the plains of Venezuela, the Llanos, people talk about a spirit. He's tall. Unnaturally tall. Thin like a skeleton wearing skin. He carries a bag full of his father's bones. Why? Because he murdered his own father. Some versions say the father abused his wife. Others say the son was just evil. Either way, his grandfather cursed him to wander forever, carrying the bones, and whipped his back with a belt soaked in hot pepper. He released a dog, Turico, that would chase him for eternity. But here's the rule that keeps Venezuelan people up at night. When you hear El Silbón's whistle and it sounds close, he's actually far away. You're safe. But when his whistle sounds far away, distant, faint, that means he's right behind you. Llaneros, the cowboys of Venezuela, say he appears during rainy nights. He stops at houses, counts bones in his bag, and if no one wakes up to the sound, someone in that house dies before morning. The only things that repel him, a whip crack, a dog's bark, or hot chili peppers. You think I'm playing? Go ask anyone from Barinas or Portuguesa. They'll tell you. El Silbón is real. The Pacific coast of Colombia is one of the most biodiverse places on Earth. It's also where the Afro-Colombian communities have kept alive one of the most disturbing legends in all of Latin America. La Tunda. La Tunda is a shapeshifter. She appears as someone you love, your mom, your girl, your best friend, and she lures you into the jungle. Specifically, she targets children and young men. She calls to you with a voice you recognize. And because she looks like someone you trust, you follow. Once she has you deep enough in the mangroves, she feeds you shrimp, camarones that she, and I quote, cooks with her own flatulence. Yeah. And these shrimp put you in a trance. You become entendado, zombified. You can't think. Can't leave. You just sit in the jungle, eating, losing yourself, while she keeps you like a pet. The only way to rescue someone who's been entendado? The whole community has to come together, drums, prayers, singing, a whole search party with a priest. It takes the collective to break her spell. One person can't do it alone. Think about that symbolism for a second. The monster isolates you. It takes the community to bring you back. That's not just a scary story. That's a lesson. Okay, if you grew up Latino, any kind of Latino, you know this one. El Cuco. El Coco. The boogeyman. And unlike the other legends, this one doesn't belong to one country. He belongs to all of us. Dormit niño, dormit ya, que viene el Cuco yte camera. Sleep now, little child, sleep now, or El Cuco will come and eat you. Your abuela sang that. Mine did too. Every Latino kid heard some version of this. But where did El Cuco actually come from? El Cuco traces back to medieval Portugal and Spain, a shapeless monster that hides on rooftops, in closets, under beds, and devours children who don't behave. When the Spanish and Portuguese colonized Latin America, El Cuco came with them. And every country made him their own. In Brazil, he's Cuca, a female alligator witch. In Mexico and Central America, he's a formless shadow with glowing eyes. In the Caribbean, he's basically the darkness itself. No face. No form. Just the fear. And honestly, El Cuco might be the most effective legend ever created. Because every single Latino kid, from East LA to Buenos Aires, has at some point been scared into behaving because of a monster that doesn't even have a face. That's power. Centuries of parenting, powered by one word. Cuco. The Argentine Pampas. Miles of nothing. No buildings. No streetlights. Just grass, sky, and silence. And sometimes, a light. Luz Mala, the evil light. Gauchos have reported it for centuries. A strange glow hovering over the plains at night. Sometimes white. Sometimes blue. It drifts, it flickers, and it moves like it's alive. The legend says, if you see it and it's white, make the sign of the cross. Pray. Because underneath that light, there are bones. A buried soul. And if you follow it, you don't come back. Now here's what's wild. Scientists have actually tried to explain Luz Mala. Some say it's ignis fatuus, swamp gas from decomposing matter that ignites. Others say it's phosphorescent gases from old bones in the soil. And those explanations? They kind of make it more terrifying. Because it means the lights are coming from dead things underground. The legend was built on something real. Rural Argentina, Uruguay, and southern Brazil all have versions of this. Farmers won't go into certain fields at night. Estancias, ranches, have areas that are just off limits after dark. No explanation needed. Everyone knows. Luz Mala. Here's what I think is beautiful about all of this. Every culture creates monsters. But Latino legends aren't just scary stories, they're instructions. La Llorona teaches you about grief and consequence. El Silbón warns against violence toward family. La Tunda says trust your community, not isolation. El Cuco keeps children safe. Luz Mala reminds you to respect the dead and the land. These stories survived colonization, slavery, migration, and centuries of change. They crossed oceans in the mouths of abuelas and survived in the nightmares of kids who grew up to tell their own children. That's not just folklore. That's cultural DNA. And it's ours. So tonight, when you turn the lights off, listen. If you hear crying by the river, if you hear a whistle in the distance, if you see a light where no light should be, maybe leave the lights on.